All right, let's try that again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing well. I see that you have Raisin and Potato and even Duty. That is awesome. So glad to have you guys here while we unveil some of the new content that they have in Planet Zoo. I'm not sure if you guys have read up on it or not, but I tried to make sure that I read through the preponderance of the patch notes today, so I at least could talk a little bit intelligently about what we've got going on. So, with that, let's get building. All right, let's go here, and we will check this out. All right, I haven't even gotten in here and messed around with anything, so we will see exactly how this plays out. I'm giving up hiding my identity from y'all because, let's be honest, Planet Zoo community is the least toxic gaming community out there. That is very fair. I can believe that. So I tried to do the Lumia, whatever light thing or something, but it's not working. So, and I haven't done enough testing to see if it'll actually work or not. But either way, okay. Perfect. Last time we were here, we got the dull sheep going. We finally got that habitat complete. Not anything spectacular. We've had dull sheep in a zoo before. Problem was we were using the Japanese macaque, and that is a bit of a problem with all of the climbing because these these sandstone pillars here are climbable, and we were just so many things that we had to change and adjust and try to make different. It was just frustrating. So I basically gave up and said, let's move on and we'll do something different. Something a little bit easier, and we'll use that animal in a different environment that we are able to go and have a little bit of an easier time. So, thanks, Raisin. Appreciate that. Duty, I already preloaded Cyberpunk. Waiting until Friday to play that. That'll be really exciting. I'm not sure if I'll stream it or not. It might be fun to try something new, something different, especially on the day that it comes out. But it should be pretty fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be pretty nice. Okay. So let's first off take a look at some of the new things that they've given us. Let's go to construction. And since they didn't give us a new... Oh, that's cool. All right. So first off, all of the letters, they gave us a new set of letters that we can use on different things, which will be really nice because now we can take letters and we can put them on like objects and so on and so forth. They have like flat ones and then have different fonts and everything else. And I think they actually have a category where you can, where lettering. So it's a little bit easier to find them. I have no idea if they fixed the alphabetization of them all, because we have like the A, the ampersand, an arrow, B, C. So it looks like there is, but it's kind of still like intermingled. So it's a little bit kind of annoying. Either way, though, it's still there. It's good. They're flexi colors, so you can change those colors as need be and not have a problem with it. Let's see. What else do we need to look at? So facilities, they added these talk points. And so these will be areas where your guests will like stack up and be listening to an educator, which is a new staff member. And the thing that's interesting about this is they're basically like the entertainment points that were in Planet Coaster, where you could have an entertainer like locked there, or you could use it as a point for the entertainer to like move from one place to the other. But if the entertainer was kind of locked there, they would stand there and do their thing, and then people would kind of gather around. And so it's kind of the same mechanic. You can put them on either side of the path. They're path objects, so you can't just place them wherever. And then you need to be able to get the path or make sure that the guests can get to it, as well as your staff. But because it's going to cause people to congregate, a narrow path like this might not be the best place to put it, but a wider path like over here might be a good place to do that. And then we can actually, maybe take out some of the foliage here and put one down. And we'll go ahead and do that just so we can kind of get an idea of how this might work. Maybe we'll put one right here. Something else that I was reading, which I thought was actually really cool, is depending on how you have the barrier, the if the barrier is low enough, the educator will actually give food to the animals, which I thought was actually pretty slick. So that's something that's really cool to do. And then I guess the animals will have a propensity to kind of come over and check things out as well. So it's another way to kind of draw the animals closer to those particular things. So no species assigned. So it might, much like with everything else, it's probably best to put the species that it's close to. You can only have one species assigned to it. It tells you whether it's water obstructs food throw. So that's good. It gives you information about whether or not the individual, the educator, will be able to actually throw food or give food to the animals, which is cool. And then obviously we have no educator assigned. We'll drop one in, but much like everything else, they have work zones and everything. So you need to make sure that they have that and at least a place to have a break room in order to make it work. You can also select music, which is really cool. And then based on the schedule, you can actually tell him when you want them to do it. I guess you can only do it like one of the months. And since the months kind of go sort of quick-ish, because the calendar date isn't tied to the actual time, so the calendar will tick up even though the time is still like chugging along. It doesn't roll over to midnight and then that'll change to 14. It'll change to 14, 15, 16, irrelevant of what the time is. So we'll go ahead and leave that. Actually, maybe we'll make that November. We can assign different music, which is all part of the same playlist kind of stuff that we have. So we can maybe do like Northern Lights since it's a northern animal. It's nice that they actually make it that we can edit the work zones directly here. So that's really good. And then we'll leave it with that. And we'll go into the staff and we'll hire an educator and assign them to that. And put this staff room in there. Raisum's getting a dog? What? I didn't know we were getting a dog. You want to play Flight Sim? Did you ever figure out how to get that to download, Potato? Also, while I'm brain farting here on things to do, I will go ahead and say this. If you're new here, please don't hesitate to subscribe that way and hit that notification bell. And that way you'll get notified when I go online next time. You can also join the Discord, which is down in the description below. Also, please hit that like or dislike to let me know what you think of the video. And also, if you have the time, leave a comment. That'd be awesome. Okay, so, yep, we have educators here. So that's great. Purple shirts. Can we change their clothes color? Because I know that was something you could do in Planet Coaster, was you could change the color of their outfits, but you can't. So, at any rate. You're getting a dog. What kind of dog? I feel so out of my comfort zone here, but I guess I'm here. Plebby, hello, welcome. You're out of your comfort zone. That's... Comfort's not really cool. Okay. So, let's go with... work zones. Let's create a new work zone. Here and there. And then we'll just do something creative like education or educator doll sheet. Now, this 1 month is probably going to mean that this person is very bored for a very long time. But I wanted to get this in here and just see like kind of how it works and go with that. So, okay, perfect. All right, so we've got that. Another thing that they've added to the game is if you go into Zoo, they now have this transport tab. Cough, kittens are better, coughs. Golden retrievers are super cute. Okay, so what this tab is supposed to do, and I haven't really looked through here, so I'm not 100% sure on all the information yet, but it does give us an idea of how many guests have used it, the profit that it's made, or in our case, not profit. Most popular ride, well, of course, it's the only ride, so this is the overall thing that we have here, and then we can, rename it if we want to, and then we can even change some settings about it, which is nice. So you can change the max speed, You can do open and close for a variety of different things here and go from there. Yeah, dogs will like to take baths with you. So it's probably not as informative as I would have thought, but either way. All right, so talks, you can see here, like we have this set up, kind of what's going on, that we have all the appropriate things. And then we have a lot of this stuff, not powered, snow leopard, what? Oh, because we have a not powered thing. We have other education boards that aren't set, really? Oh, because I didn't set any of those because there's no critters in there. Yep, and that's probably all of those. There's probably a total of 16 because we don't have anything in there, so there's not a big deal there. And then, oh, what the hell? All right, and unpowered, we have this one at the end that it's unpowered, so not a big deal there. Okay, I think those are some of the bigger things. We also have in facilities, they went in and they added a water temperature regulator. I don't have any idea how these work. I don't know if you have to have these now as a separate thing from the habitat or the other like water treatment. So I don't know if you have to have both or not. I'm also curious. Their negative radius seems to be a lot better. Oh, nope, I lied. That just needed to update. So yeah, it's still the same thing. So, all right, yep. It's no fun if we read to help. We just got to figure it out on our own. Dog's too needy for you. I will say that cats are definitely far more useful or not useful. They're better to have if you want something to interact with, if you want to go out and play and run around. Cats are the animal that you want to have that requires very little effort. And the other thing about cats is, like, you can disappear for a day or two and not worry about it. Cats are fairly self-sufficient. Dogs, on the other hand, are entirely dependent on their owners for all sorts of different things. So the radius is terrible. It's a water temperature regulator for the aqua animals. But so animals that require any kind of water, say like the gharial, which aren't that big, like don't really play into this expansion like the saltwater croc does, but I don't know if we need to have the water there. My kitty rides my shoulders and hunts squirrels and goes on a lead, so I kind of have the best of both worlds. Oh, they did add a new barrier, but I think because I don't have... So this was one of the known issues they had. They added a new glass barrier that did something different. I don't remember what exactly it did. But they also have the glass habitat gate, which is kind of nice. And then they also have this glass airlock, which is also nice. So I don't even remember reading that. But because I'm in franchise mode, it doesn't come automatically despite having had all the research done. So that's kind of annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll take a look at that at some other point. I'm trying to think of what else they did different or new. Oh, paths. So they added new paths, which is nice. They actually have this water path, which I don't know exactly what this does. It just looks like water. That's kind of cool. It'd have been different if it was like splashing or whatever, but that's still pretty cool. Like that's definitely a nice path, in my opinion, to use for certain things. They also, and this is probably something that a lot of people have been asking for, is now they've added more queue paths, and we're actually going to use this because I absolutely hate the queues that they have here. So the nice thing is we can even go with like a natural queue path, but because these are elevated, probably inadvertently, we're going to go with something a little bit different. And so we can use these other paths here to fill this out, and I think that'll look a lot nicer. It's still got that stupid white brick. And they all do. So I don't know that there's anything we do to get rid of that. But we can also like make this more of like a bleached wood kind of thing. And then we've covered this one up, so there's no big deal there. Let's see here. It's basically for the Aqua Pack and the Croc for now. He's the softest, purest boy too. But yes, I'll stop talking about my cat now. Oh, that's nice. Good for water or Arctic themed places. Yeah, so, and it is nice that we have some additional paths. That's nice. It'd be nice if we get this. Oh, one of the biggest features that I think people have been complaining about since probably day one of playing franchise zoos is if you go into animal trading, and probably in here, come on, we didn't have the ability to multi-select, but now we do, and it is glorious. Absolutely glorious. I cannot wait to have to, or to be able to do this. And now it does look like if, oh no, it looks like you can go ahead and multi-trade animals, which is nice. Or maybe you can only multi-trade for cash. Huh, that's interesting. So it might be based on how you acquired the animal. But either way, multi-select here is amazing. Because it is such a huge pain, especially when you get a habitat that has like 6 or 7 animals and you have to click them one by one, and that interface is just really slow. And it's nice that we have that as a way to speed that process up. So I think that's pretty much it. If we go to construction and we look at content packs, let's do the aquatic pack and let's just see what other items we have here. So we don't really have a whole lot in the way of new things here, unless they just didn't label it properly. But so there's that. Facilities, we can do content pack, aquatic, and we're really not going to get anything there because none of it's really tied specifically to that. Content pack, aquatic, so we got some new foliage and stuff like that. Love what you did with the zoo so far. Well, thank you. And if you guys want to see the other build videos for this, they are all in the playlist. Some are just pre-recorded and then sped up, and then others are and others are like live streams that are still part of the same thing. But you kind of exceed your time limit. It's time to delete this boss. Nope, that's not going to happen. I've spent entirely too much time on this zoo, and I have a lot of other things that I want to do that are going to get done before we move on to a different zoo. And by adding the content pack, because we actually started building this zoo around the time that the Australia pack came out, and so now we have the aquatic pack, which is awesome. But yeah, so we have some foliage and stuff like that. That's part of the aquatic pack, and then that's probably about it. So there's probably not as many like individual items and whatnot that came with this, but there's still a lot of different things that are part of this new pack, which is really, really nice. I encourage you to go read either on Steam or Planet Zoo's website and check out like the patch notes to get all of the information, because I'm pretty sure I'm missing some stuff, and it's just I don't remember all of it. I just tried to remember most of the big things. Let's see. We're not even going to end up doing a new animal right away. I mean, because we have like the giant otter, which that would actually be pretty cool. Those are so cute. I love those things. But I know nothing about them. What, 9,600? For that? Are you out of your absolute fucking mind? Like, come on. Like, it's not like I can't just buy these and move on. And they actually have slightly better stats for just the standard Frontier ones. You know what? I'm going to buy them. Hopefully I have enough space in my... How you doing? Good dude. No idea how many I need. Nothing like that. So let's take a look at the giant otter. Where are you? There we go. And look, they make it look ferocious, but they're actually like super cute. Okay. Oh man. What? I need to go 72 square meters deep. So that is another thing that they added, is that some of the animals you have to... Oh, have you seen the roof pieces from the Aqua Pack? Oh, yeah. That is something else they added. So I'll touch base on that in just a second. So you have your standard. Do they have climbing? Do they have water? And do they have land? Your temperature, can they climb? They need almost like a 2-meter tall fence. But the other thing is you have to make sure that they have enough water that is at a certain depth for them to swim down underneath. And so that's something that is really nice to have as, you know, a different requirement to make sure that you're building these things in a way that really kind of makes sense. And I was thinking about it because I was going to do, and I might be able to work it out because I don't really intend for this tram thing to go here. We might just start extending it this way. But I was thinking about getting one of the new animals put into this area here. And then I can use this path as a way to kind of do that. And then I need to just be able to make sure that I can go down far enough to accommodate that. And it looks like there's nothing else underneath here, so we're good to go. So yeah, if we go into construction, I haven't checked the color thing, but that would be good to see as well. But if we go to our roofs and we go to our flat roofs, so what they've done is oftentimes what you would have is you would have, like, say this particular roof piece, and then you can get this here where all the beams line up, but now if you want to make the semicircle kind of thing, that doesn't line up. Well, now they added the other half to make it that you can do that, which is outstanding. And then if we come in here, we can do our, not brand, that doesn't do any good for us, property and flexi color. We can see that some of the roofs have the ability to change the colors, like this tile roof. We could change into different colors and whatnot. And some of these may have already had the ability to do that. Like I know the painted stuff did. I didn't know you could change the colors of these. What does that change to? Color. Really? Frame color, panel color. Nice. That's super cool. Loop. Makes it that you can't see through. Oh, that's opaque. That would be why. But either way, so there's a bunch of these little things. The aqua roof is so pretty. What's the aqua roof? A-Q-U-A? Nope. Delete this. It's actually my colors that I really love in a standard thingy. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not a new roof that's part of the aqua pack. It's just something that you made look aqua-like. That makes sense. Okay, so we have a restroom here. We have this. So we're going to go ahead and let this play. And then I do want to bring this adventure tour path around this way so we can add more terrain here. I probably haven't researched it yet. Oh my goodness, T-Slam, welcome. Yep, YouTube streaming. Love it or hate it, this is where it's going to be. It is from the Aqua Pack. Oh, that's right, because I forget about that you have to research stuff. Let's go to, where do I do research? I haven't done research in such a long time, I actually forget where to do it. Oh, yep, there it is. Oh, good. They knocked it down that I have to research the barrier too. That's excellent. Let's go ahead and get our research going. And now typically the way the research works is the first level is just going to give you all of the actual items, and then everything else will just give you blueprints so you can go from there. Can you ask why what? Spend a lot of time walking. Well, yeah, because you're not really doing anything. You're standing there, but that's actually a really cool little thing going on there. That's awesome. So hopefully this is also something that helps with, well, I imagine it will, but helps with education. And I was talking with Cyber about this earlier. I think one of the things that's actually really nice about the way that they do a lot of this stuff is it doesn't just feel like, you know, I'm putting some pixels together and I have something that I could sort of call a zoo if I use my imagination. Like, this looks like a zoo, and the way that the animals interact, the way that the guests interact with things, the way that the staff does things, like being able to feed these guys if things were set up right and everything else. That's the stuff that's really cool. Seeing these groups of people standing around and, you know, wanting to be interested in this. I could also go all the way over here, and I could even put one up here because we don't have anything else really here, and that'd be pretty cool. Peaceland, what did you want to ask? I can't answer questions if people don't ask. Okay. Yeah, they are. But man, they take up a lot of room. Like, if I were to put this on the 4-meter path, it would really screw things up. Oh, that's awesome. I don't know that a doll sheep's going to do that. I'm like being quiet like I can actually understand what she's saying. That's still super awesome. Like, I really like that. I decided to go to YouTube because I feel like Twitch really hampers your, like, content creators' ability to get discovered. And one of the things that I like about YouTube is when I'm done streaming this video will be part of my library of videos that are on the platform. And is something that people can still search, still see, still watch, can still be an investment of my time, where with Twitch, after the 2-week period, the VOD just disappears and it's gone forever. And while I could download them and put them on YouTube or whatever, it just seems to make a lot more sense to just stream to YouTube. And I also feel that a game like Planet Zoo is something that people might be expecting to see more on YouTube than they would on Twitch, simply because it's a game that people are going to search and they'd be looking for either particular guides or particular builds or something like that, instead of it just being like, what are we playing? What exciting game are we playing today? Like Fortnite or Apex or Call of Duty or whatever it might be. So I decided to go ahead and try something different and see how it works. Ooh, really? Really? Box all. So we just randomly are boxing animals again. This is a fun game. Now they're stressed because they were probably in boxes. All right, so hopefully that goes away. Stress. Yeah, they're all running away, so that's good. Maybe I did something in there. Oh, really? Now what? Oh, cute. Okay. Let's see. I will definitely take that into consideration. I think a lot of the times it's just like, what are we doing? And I oftentimes don't know. All right, so let's check you out. Let's go here in traversable area and look at that. There are tons of escape points for you now, which is definitely not a good thing. And I think when we've done this before, we didn't have babies. Now we have loads of babies, and it's one of the first times that we've let the game actually play for any kind of length of time. And there's like an entire army of the little bastards. Let's see here. So you can't escape. Where is that Big Papa? No, Big Papa's right there. Big Papa definitely can't escape, but our entire little army of little dudes can get away. They can actually get up here, which is actually kind of cool. Oh, that's dangerous. They can get up there. Shiza. All right, so we're going to have to fix this. So this is going to be step number 1. Keeping our gharial under control. And man, we had so many gharial. Like, that's insane. I didn't realize we had that many. Good Lord. Okay. So let's try, because the habitat was where? The barrier goes all the way to here. So if I make this rock taller, that could be part of the solution, just kind of along this entire edge. And then this rock here, I think, was allowed them to walk up because it was, the slope was perfect for them to be able to get up there. The other thing I could do is I could just block these, but I actually kind of like that at least the little ones can get up here, because I made this feel like it wasn't worth it. So maybe we'll just even put something kind of right here, because they can't get down there on their own. So we'll go ahead and fix that. Okay. Yes, plebby. Nature. There's colorable rocks now? Really? Filter. Property. Color. All these guys here? The aqua rocks. I actually kind of like those rock colors as they are. Oh, that's cool. And then you can actually change different aspects of it too. So, oh, that's like super dark. But we could make it like a, almost like an obsidian kind of look or whatever. That's actually really cool. I'm glad that we have that, so we're not just locked into the same color rock. I mean, of course, we could get flexible in using the different types with the savanna, or like mixing them up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this put down here. No, that's not the one I want. I want something that's got a little bit of a squared edge. That's too big. So maybe we will use this one. Because, I mean, it fits in this area pretty well. I just might need to add a little bit more to it to keep things from being able to climb here, because I'm sure that something can still climb there. So we're going to fix that with something like this. There we go. And if we can, and if T-Slan's still here, we'll definitely work in rock 18, because I think that's always an important rock to include whenever possible. Let people know that we still care. All right, maybe move that over this way, and then we'll try to rotate it just a little so that's coming out there. And good. And then let's go into nature again. And let's get one of the smaller ones like this. And the idea that I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make sure that we have like a flatter edge along here to create a little shelf that they can't climb up, is what I'm trying to do. And so that's actually something else I wanted to ask. So for you guys and like watching right now, I know that oftentimes, you know, we're here for the live stream and you are here to interact and all of those kind of things, which is great. But I wanted to also ask if there's, when doing videos where I just record it and then put it on the channel, is there a particular format or anything that you are interested in seeing that you prefer over, like, prefer one style over another or something like that? Or is it just do whatever and it would be acceptable? Let's go in here. I think maybe we can get something like this and get this in here like this. Jessica, hello. How are you? It's a full up party in here today. Let's do this and maybe try to bring that up just a touch. All right, let's see. I still feel like this could be too much of a slope here, so this might be where we get Rock 18 to do some work. You don't watch YouTube too much, hides in shame. That's okay. No, it doesn't, you don't have to watch it. YouTube isn't necessarily the preferred platform because YouTube caters a little bit more to an audience of like kind of after the fact. It's not the what do you call it? It's not the interactive platform like Twitch is. And, you know, so there's pros and cons. I think it's growing, but there's definitely not as many tools or interactive kind of things that come along with it. You have to get a lot of those things from other places instead of having like the channel points already baked in or the emote stuff, which I mean, there are emotes, but I have to get to affiliate or whatever they call it level here. Yeah, and that's another thing that I do like about YouTube. The music that played at the beginning of the stream was actually music that I grabbed off of YouTube's studio page, and they have a whole laundry list of stuff. They also have sound effects and everything that you can use. And so it's super nice to have that. And then some of the stuff you have to attribute, but most of the stuff is stuff that you can use just however you want. And that is another part of why I decided to move over, because I think it gave a little bit more flexibility in dealing with like different types of music and stuff like that, that it wasn't just locked into like whatever, like working past whatever the Twitch gods were willing to let me do that day. Okay, so let's see. We've made a fair number of changes, but so I think this is probably covered. I think that's probably covered. We just need to get this here, and then hopefully we stop the escaping. Because again, I don't mind them getting up here, because I like the idea of them being able to get up here and kind of meander around. And honestly, if we made this part tall enough, they just couldn't get down. So that might be another way to do that. But let's go in here. Yep, I know he's escaped. He's right there. We're going to get him. Get him, get him, get him. And then what rock's here? All right, so let's go ahead and use... The thing that I think is nice, though, is despite the questions about moving to YouTube, you guys came over and are watching and hanging out, and I think it's still just as effective. And there's still little things that I can do. I just have to use stream elements or something like that in order to have points that you guys can spend and do things with. That isn't any different than what we were doing before. So like the sounds can come back and those types of things. I just need to get that all like hooked back up, because I was using stream elements. And while I think I have that bot in here, I don't know if it doesn't track the loyalty in the same way. I don't think. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll have to see like what's going on. But it's something that we can definitely do and make sure that you guys still have a way to have fun. Well said, Raisin. Well said. All right. Nature, let's maybe get one of these and flip it around this way. Put this right here. And there. I still really like how the rocks just like seemingly blend in, that once you set them down, like it's really hard to tell where one stops and where one begins. So awesome. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and get you captured, because I've got more than enough money to spend $1,000 to capture you. Wow, that is a big ass box. I absolutely love that. They like turn around and be like, oh, never mind. I'm good. Wait, what? Oh, you little pricks. What did you climb up? Oh, you must have climbed up right here. Damn it. What the hell did you climb up? Oh, maybe it's the dirt here? It's funny though that like I feel like I closed that off and then all the little ones are like, oh fuck, I can't get out this way. Now they're all probably heading over to wherever the hell this is. And how did you get out? Wait, I saw... Oh, I see it. Where is it? Okay. Oh, is this another one of these like underground ones? Oh no, there it is. Thank Christ I found the dark mode. Dark mode is always good. Yeah, I think I do dark mode on just about everything. Okay, so this should be a simple fix of a few rocks because I think the barrier actually runs along this edge here. So we can just take something like more of these rocks and just put them along this edge. Or maybe even just make like a, push it in a little bit and make like a little shelf there with one of the other rocks. So let's go ahead and get you captured. And then we'll go ahead and do, let's actually let this play. All right. So what if I just cancel the move? Unbox. Okay. Eat burns. All right, let's go ahead and do some pushing here. Push it, push it, push it real good. Try to get this a little bit steeper. That probably solved the problem right there. But we're going to go ahead and pull this out. And nature. And then this guy here, because this one is typically kind of effective, and this is what I was looking for this particular situation. We'll do something like this. Plop that down. And then get it shifted a little bit here. There. And then turn it this way. And then there should be no question that any of these critters are getting out this way. So let's go ahead and we'll put a little bit more rock along this edge just because we already kind of started with some stuff. So it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do. And that's actually something else that was kind of what I should be doing on this stream, is doing some rock work around the tunnel entrances, because we need to finish that so we can complete or continue with our kind of completionist like mentality with a lot of this stuff. Let's slide this in just a little more. And then we're going to take the terrain here and we're going to go with this guy. And let's actually push this down first. Pull that up there. There we go. And now let's get some painting action going here. We can get some rough rock in here and just kind of get the terrain and that integrated with one another. And then we'll put a couple of the other textures in there just to break up how kind of ugly that ended up looking. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry I'm burping so much. That is not an appropriate thing to be doing, at least right now. Okay. Let's hit it with a little bit of smooth because that seems to be kind of a bit extreme. And then we'll do just a little bit of dirt. Maybe we'll do a little bit of this. And even a little bit of sand kind of helps break up some of the texture a little bit without it being too crazy. Okay, perfect. Now let's take a look and see. Let's go find a baby. We'll find the baby that escaped. You guys are both upset now that you don't get to... Oh, really? Son of a bitch. Eating guest food. Animals escaped again. Where's this one? Dingo. What? We fixed that. Oh, you cheating ass game. Oh, damn it. Where's the escaped animal? Dingo's just like, I'm going. Whatever. Because we had all of this fixed. Because we had the dingo disaster that we had to deal with before. And now the babies are still able to escape out of some of this stuff. So we're going to have to get a little bit more creative here. It's funny, though, that like this gap is perfectly closed off. But then over here, even though there's a bunch of foliage, they're like, yep, I'm going to walk straight through that. And then what's even better is now, because they didn't used to be able to jump up here, but now they can, which is another part of where they are able to escape from. So maybe if we put... Maybe we'll put some rocks along the back of these benches and kind of up underneath this and just try to raise that up a little bit, that we don't have to screw with this too much. And let's see. We have the tunnel down there, so we have to be a little bit cognizant of what we're doing. All right, sounds good. I'm sure we'll still be here, fixing problems that have cropped up. Nature. Let's see here. Bring this down to about here. Maybe flip that like that. And then I also have to be careful not to make it that there's still like a ramp that they can walk up. All right. Let's see. Because these rocks would be really good for it. Maybe. Just depends on how high we're looking at them jumping now. So one of the things that, while I'm not going to do it, it is one of the things that does make using just the regular barriers so much nicer, because you can just put the barriers down and then move on. But all right, let's go ahead, do that. Roll this back this way a little bit. Slide you in there. Man, I don't really like the way that looks, but spin it around. And that, and this way. And roll it this way. Back. There. See if that... Yeah, that tickles my fancy a little bit better. Delete this one because I don't like that there. Okay. I like that that is labeled a small rock. That's still kind of large. And not going to fit with what I want to do. Nope. I guess. No, it's always the fun thing. Going through here and trying to solve these problems. I don't mind solving the problems. That's not really that big of a deal, but it's just sometimes like you get it fixed and then they do an update and then things aren't fixed. And I like how the dingo was just literally just like, oh, I'm just going this way. I'm actually surprised people aren't like running in terror that there's an animal loose. Oh, and then of course those are too close, so we need to bring them out like that and like this. That way and that. Okay, and now I think what we'll do is we will lay just a couple of the smaller ones like this across the top of that to kind of fix that. Let's rotate it so we have a different surface up there, like so. And then we'll do another one, but we'll do the longer one, just so it's a little bit different. Pick this up here. All right, chat. So you guys know very well that I am retiring from the military here very soon. I still have to go to work, so I can't do anything super crazy, and I don't want to. I'm not dyeing my hair blue or anything like that. However, I have been considering letting my beard grow for an entire year and seeing what that turns into. And I'm curious what you guys think. I think what we can do too is we can probably add a little bit more foliage here now, just to kind of hide that just kind of edge, and make that look a little bit better. All right, so let's go ahead and hit play. Now the thing is, we don't have a lot of babies in here, so that's something that we have to kind of work with. I'm not discounting having different color hair as a thing or not. However, I am not going to do blue hair. I don't have enough hair to do blue. What am I looking for? It's like I've never played this damn game. All right, so that obviously didn't affect them in the slightest. Can I select little guy? No, little guy doesn't respect that. Yes, Cyber does. I wouldn't even be bringing it up if it was not Cyber approved. Where's my other baby? You? Yes. You are the little young one. So, shit. What's even more insane is it's like they can just jump onto the bench and just go. Let it grow, let it grow. Why is it the little ones can do that, but the big ones can't? That's so weird. All right. Honestly, a shaven face is way better than a freshly shaven one to kiss. 1 to 2 weeks double stage is the worst, though. Okay, so this particular set is not helping. So let's go ahead and delete that. A bearded face is way better. I don't really want to just throw up the cladding pieces, because I feel like that's just... I wonder, because I have that over here, so that's actually not that big of a deal. So in here, I could... I think part of the problem is the benches are here, though. That's the thing. Because, I mean, these are high enough that the animal won't jump down, which was the point of them. But it feels like the animals are able to jump up on that. So let's go ahead and go to habitat. Maybe we'll get something like you. We have that blood scent marker there. And maybe we'll just shrink you down to like here. I mean, that might work. I think I knew what you meant. All right, let's go ahead and move you. Put you maybe down in here instead. Let me just bring you a touch. Okay. All right, where's my baby? Where's she at? I'm not assuming she's a girl. I know they're both girls because that's just what I had. All right. Check it out. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, so there's still escapage. Son of a bitch. And it's because they can hop down here. What if I do something like that? Because, I mean, if they can climb up there, it's not really that big of a deal. It's more a matter of, are they able to jump off of it? Let's do this, and then maybe tilt this just a little more. Because I can fill the bottom in with something if I really want to. Do that. That. So, but the general sense that I'm getting is let it grow. Like, let it do its thing. Enjoy it. And I mean, it's not going to just turn into this unruly nightmare. It's still something I'm going to keep, like, adjusted and clean. Whenever I did my quarantine beard, that was just like, let's just see what happens over the 4-month period of time that I don't have to do anything. All right, so nature, let's see about putting you down. Maybe flip you around like this. Make you just a little bit higher. It just kind of sucks because I was, like the guests being able to see over these rocks and all that. But, I mean, the more important thing is keeping the animals inside the habitat. So if we have to do some drastic things, we have to do some drastic things. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. Come on, little one. Let's show me the money. Okay, awesome. We solved that problem. One problem solved. And then, yep, we can't do anything about that. All right, and then here, what we'll do is where are they able to get up there? Because they can't crawl through here. It looks like they're able to just make their way right here. Because they can't climb up on this, so that's good. So maybe if I just pull out one of these bushes or even just throw a rock in there that would block them, then I think we should be okay. So let's try something like right in here. We're just going to get close so I can kind of remember where I want to put it. So like right there. Nature, and then maybe not you. Maybe you? We'll just set it down and then we'll figure it out. That's a pretty decent sized little rock there. Let's see what we can do here with some rotation. And maybe slide that back a little. Rotate it just a touch more. And Razum, your blue hair is beautiful. It makes me sad every time that you're playing online now with the damn beanie. It's like you're embarrassed by it. Never mind, people donated to the charity to make sure that you got to that point. Okay, awesome. Looks like we have now blocked things. The nice thing is the animal can still get up here, which is kind of cool. So even though the people standing here looking at this kind of stupidly, something that we could do. Oh, I like that idea. Because we don't need this rock anymore, I don't think. Let's do this. Let's go find the baby again, because I don't know where she went. She's been hopping around. She's all the way over here. Let's let the game play, because I could put a talking point there, which would actually be super cool, I think. To have the talking point there, and then maybe the animals can just like pop up and be there. So that would be neat. Let's go ahead, and we're going to try to slide you down so you're not quite as sore thumbish, and see if that causes any problems. Where's our little girl? Where'd she go? She is fast. Where the fuck did she go? Are they eating out of the ground there? Oh. I don't know what the hell that was. Okay. Let's check traversable area. And still no escape point there. Perfect. That way that rock's a little bit less gaudy looking. Let's even try to do this and maybe even move it in a little. So it feels like it's a little bit more part of the rock that's there. And we'll try that. And I think that's a good settling point. We just need to see if we can find the baby. And there she is. The other juvenile's in there now too, but okay. Looks like we're still good. Sweet. Now we're going to go ahead and add a talking point in here. Education, talking point, and I'm pretty sure... Oh, that's really annoying. Okay. Let's pause. Delete. Delete. Let's get the talking point set down first. Then we'll go get a copy of our bench. because the part is whenever you have something like this on a path, it likes to snap to it. Not a big deal. But now let's go ahead, get our dingo. Let's see, it's March, so let's go ahead and make it April. Music, let's see. Do we have an Australia? Classic, Planet Zoo, Arctic, North America, Australia. Let's do, I don't have any idea what any of these sound like. It looks like we got aquatic music too. Let's just do the Australia playlist. Manage work zones. And then, since the educators seem to have a lot of free time, let's just go ahead and the educator there. And then we'll also put her here. And we'll call this educator doll sheep / dingo. And then April and October, so that's 6-month periods, and that should be good because now she's not here, so nobody's there, and hopefully she comes over here, and I think that would be cool. Yes, we can change the color of the, so the wood looks like we keep the wood color the same. That's a little annoying. We'll just probably leave it, but we can change the colors of some of this stuff. So that's good. Okay, excellent. Like it. Oh, that's cool. They get a scenery rating too. Scenery rating 100? Scenery rating 100. Oh, so this one looks like the educator should be able to throw food, so that's good. All right, let's take a look here. Inaccessible. What? Do I have to move you there? I mean, I would think that that's accessible. Okay, awesome. Now we have the aquatic pack stuff, so we can look at that. Facility inaccessible. I wonder if that's because the benches are there. Can I move these then and get them a little further away and improve that? That might have solved it. Okay, so let's do this. Nutrition is bad. Guests are assholes. This would be something that I really would like them to have done, is made it that the signs are something that we could change colors on. Oh, that is cool. All right, we'll take a look at all that stuff in a second, because I'll totally get distracted by that. Do not feed. Nope, still can't change colors. Damn it. But we should be able to put stuff in here. I don't like that it's doing that, but whatever. Flip this up. And that's not even... Ugh. Okay, fine. Come on, game. This. Do you want to put it in Discord and show on stream? All right, let's go ahead and take this back just a little bit, and then we'll slide that puppy down. Be just under there. So at least that looks like it was kind of meant to be there. All right. I like that. Cooking with gas. Okay, let's see. Under heat map, let's check our crime. That covers the preponderance of this. There's still a little bit at the end and then over here, so maybe we can put another one in the same little spot here. It's not that good yet, though. Well, you know how we feel about that. But no pressure, so I'm not going to force you. You just yell at me about how I say that I'm not creative, and then you definitely have a high degree of creativity yourself and don't want to show it off. That's okay. I'll forgive you. Okay. You downloaded a new expansion, but you haven't played? I'm making money hand over fist. Like, that's something that's changed. For sure. Thick glass. Oh, so they have... Oh, and these pillars are colorable, I think. And so it's almost like you have the concrete, but you have glass in it instead. That's actually pretty awesome. Okay, so that should be sufficient, but we're going to go ahead and put one more here. I had to run errands today, so didn't feel I could run errands and play video games while technically at work. That's fair. I understand that. Facilities, let's do this. We're actually going to pause it now because we've at least seen that the zoo is pretty functionable without having to do anything crazy. And then we'll go ahead and put this here. And then just to make this not so hideous, let's go into the building. And then we're going to Control X. We're going to duplicate this, and we're going to just put this up here like that. Then this. Control D. And that. And then what we'll do here, so that's not so crazy, is we'll just take the whole thing, and we'll slide it down like this. And then I feel that that looks a lot better. All right. Excellent. And we can even take this one and maybe just rotate it a little bit to see. There we go. Okay, awesome. That way there's at least something that kind of makes the signs look like we kind of intended them to be there without it being too gaudy. That covers the preponderance of this, so unless there's a guest over here, we should be okay. And I mean, I could slip in another one there, but I think we'll be all right. The guests don't tend to feed the animals too much, but what is this? Oh, broken stuff. All right, let's check out here. And actually here, crime, Australia bin, India. Okay, so that was easy. Spending a lot of time walking. Well, yeah, because you don't really have that much to do, so we'll fix that up at some point. All right, so those just need to be played, so they pop back in. All right, and so what I was talking about was we've been doing a lot of like trimming of the edges of certain things with some rocks just to add some different texture and everything else. It's funny that the keeper just arbitrarily drops food here. I don't understand that, but whatever. So obviously we've done a lot of stuff here and it makes it feel a little bit more realistic. And one area that I haven't done that with, because we spent a lot of time doing it in this cave here, which I think ended up turning out extremely nice. We haven't really done anything up around these edges or even over here, where not so much on this side because we're not done with that, but I think we did some... Oh, no, we didn't do anything over here either, but we did do it here. So the intent, as we've talked about before, is we're still trying to make sure that we don't leave unfinished projects. And then if we come across something that was part of like the older sections of the zoo that we inadvertently missed, then I want to take care of it while we're thinking about it instead of continuing to build on and then never actually like remembering that we want to do that. So go ahead. Nope. Stop. And then here we go ahead and bring this out like this. And then maybe like that. We might just pull the terrain around that a little bit more just to make it kind of fit a little nicer. And then there we go. I think that works. So terrain, let's go ahead and do a little bit of pulling. Stop having the rock highlighted because that's kind of annoying. And then we'll go through here and make sure that we have more like solid rock looking texture on here instead of the dirt. maybe just pull this through until something like that comes out. Perfect. Nope, nope, in. There we go. And now let's go ahead and kind of integrate that. So the one thing that's really nice about using the rocks from the particular environment that you're in is oftentimes the rocks will blend into the terrain pretty seamlessly, where if I were to turn around and say put, let's see, because I have savanna right now because I had it narrowed down, but a mossy rock obviously is kind of cheating in this example. Red savanna, like maybe like a taiga rock or something. They just look like they don't fit with the terrain, and it doesn't mean you can't use them. It's just when you try to blend it in with the terrain like this, it's just not going to have that look that you want, or at least that I typically look for when I do this. Let's see. Trying to think of a where's the smaller ones, because we can just put the smaller ones in here like this, and we don't even have to do a whole lot in regards to like adjusting how they AV. The hell? That's super weird. All right, anyway. We don't have to do a whole lot in adjusting them or anything, because we can just push them into the terrain enough that they're basically like hidden in there. And then it just adds some texture and everything else to it, which makes it look a lot nicer. And then we don't have anything under here, which is good. So we can use one of the larger flat rocks in an area like this. So let's go into nature again. Oh my God. What did I do wrong? V. I'm using the new barrier as a windshield at my food areas, by the way. Oh, that's awesome. All right, and yeah, we don't need that to be very high, but I just wanted to get like a little bit of a like shelf-ish kind of thing here. Like that. I think that's good. Yep, I kind of like how that blends in there. Perfect. And then maybe we'll take something like this one and use it to create a little bit of a slope on there. Like that. And then we can even flip it around and do something similar on the other side. Maybe. Actually, we'll just bring that up just a touch more. There. Now we've created a completely different looking rock. That's awesome. All right, now doing some of this stuff around these edges can be kind of a pain, just because at this point you're really kind of having to like mess around with the rocks and flip them all the different directions and so on and so forth to kind of get a look that you might be looking for. But that's the thing with, at least that I feel like with this game, is we really want to get a lot of detail. You just have to spend the time adding the detail, and there's no way around it. This game is a time commitment, and at least in my opinion, a very fun time commitment. Let's see, maybe we can use this guy somewhere like that. Yep, that's perfect. And then oftentimes what I end up doing around these edges, because I'll get kind of frustrated in just how long it takes sometimes. And I don't want that to sound like a bad thing, but it just, just having to place each one of these rocks individually and get kind of a shape and all that. Now, what I could have done is I could have made this part of the overall building that makes these tunnels, and then duplicated the rock thing and then flipped it around on the other side. But then it's not as organic, because now it's just kind of like a carbon copy of itself all the way across. And so at that point, I feel like it takes away some of the realism of like what you would have going on here if you really did have a like something kind of like this going on. So here, let's see if maybe we can get this little guy in here like this, and then we'll go ahead and get some rotating going on there. Flip it maybe this way. Slide that back like that. Awesome. There we go. Now, nope. And before we end for the night, we are definitely going to take a look at the new set and everything else, just to kind of, you know what, we'll just place it and we'll in there. The new set, and just really kind of see like what we've been given and whatnot. And then maybe we'll even, as part of it, like even inside of our little castle area, we'll build something that utilizes some of the new set pieces and everything. That won't be tonight necessarily, but it'll be something to kind of think about. I'm going to go ahead and rotate that this way. Bring it out just a little bit. And maybe down here. And so we can see that there's like this little bit of an edge there. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably just pull the terrain just a little more. Like that. And then now we have a little bit of a nicer kind of edge there. And then what we should be able to do as well, actually, you know what, we could have just left that alone, because there's a slightly better trick that I like to use for something like this. So some of these rocks have like that kind of tapered edge, and so we can use these. Why is that turning into, no, turn that off. Okay. Just looking at it funny, I guess. So they have this tapered edge, so we can bring this down to kind of the surface of this other rock and kind of get that blend to blend in. And then that will help kind of mask that edge a little bit, if that's something that you want to do. All of it, though, is really just dependent on what you want your zoo to look like. We love new stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I'm just like a giant Planet Zoo fanboy, because it doesn't even matter like if there was reviews or anything about this stuff. Like, I'm just like, nope, new DLC, gonna buy it because I will use it. So that's not anything that I really think about when I when I get these. That was the one we used. Let's bring this one up. Let's see. Hit that button. Take my pill that Potato thinks is some sort of not pill. All right. So again, we can just use this little kind of sloped edge here to create something like that. We can still pull the terrain out just a little bit to get that maybe to line up a little, or we can just leave it alone, whichever. And even like a rock like this that has kind of a sloped edge to it, we can use that, bring that out to about here maybe. And yeah, I mean, we could also tilt it this way, bring it up and out like that. And that actually works pretty well too. Maybe we'll just do down and bring it towards us just a little. Like that. Great. And now here, we could also, you know, again, depending on what you want it to look like, you could sit here and spend all this time trying to fill in all this extra space with rock. Or you could just come in here with the terrain tool and go that way. My money was on that. I already bought it straight up when it came out, was refreshing my stream like a kid on Christmas Day. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like as soon as I got home and had access to buy it, I didn't even hesitate. I grabbed my credit card and came in here and bought it, because the whole intent for today was to play this tonight and stream. And I know I haven't been holding any kind of stream schedule. That's definitely my bad, but it's a lot nicer not necessarily following a particular schedule. And then I don't feel bad if I'm not able to do it, but then You know, it's nice when I can just hop in here and have this like impromptu kind of thing that I'm really excited about. Because I will tell you, like, just reading through some of these things, like, I'm been really hyped up about this like all day. All right, so let's do this. And I don't want that to be so far out, so maybe we'll just do something like that. Because we are still going to maybe do a little bit of work over here too, just along this edge. We're not going to do a whole lot. We'll throw some cladding and stuff like that down just to kind of work with that. But we can do something like this here, and then we can just use some of the other pieces to kind of get that to like fold in, as it were. Because even if we take like a cladding piece like this, and then we can get this rotated around like such, and this, and then maybe slide that way, rotate here. So you can see that we're already kind of like fixing some of this with how these things are working. The cladding piece is really nice because you can almost assemble like a rock of your own design to some extent because of the nature of the way some of these pieces are. So that's always nice. The first thing I did this morning was buy the new DLC. Yeah, I just didn't have time to do it this morning. Otherwise I would have. Because I had to turn the computer on, and then Cyber and I get up like just in time to basically go to work, and we were already running late today, so I didn't want to take any more time. And it's not like I really care about whether I'm late to work or not, but parking is such a nightmare, and since it's so cold now, and I'm not like that sensitive to the cold, but it still just kind of sucks. So all right, let's go ahead and push this in like that. And then over here, we'll just do our standard little terrain trick here, where we'll just pull this out, and then we'll get the texture updated a little bit so it blends in a little bit better. And then we'll probably just do like one or two other little things up here to kind of fill that in, and then like it looks pretty good as far as I'm concerned. What do you guys think? Go ahead and maybe get something like this guy in here. We'll do something like this. And then flip it like that. And then like this. Yeah, absolutely. I wish I could work from home, but I can't. Sadly, they still like me to go in. The sad thing is, like, I go into work and I know that I only have like really about 30 total calendar days, and I have like 20-ish like actual work days left. And I'll tell you, like, that's really kind of a sobering thought to think about. Like, I've been doing this nonsense for 24 years, and then it's all just going to kind of come to an end very soon. And I'm excited about it for sure. But okay, awesome. But so we see how this looks. I wish we had like done a before and after so I could bring up the before. But this, well, I mean, we could actually just look over here. We can see how this looks. And it just, you know, this looks a lot more bland, I guess, at least in my opinion. And then this seems to have a more organic look to it. And I really like the way that that comes across better with what we've been doing with this zoo anyway. So maybe let's take the thick boy here. Did they move it up? Did they move what up? Sorry, I'm not tracking what you're talking about. What you on about? Actually, maybe we'll flip this on its side. And then, yeah, that'll work. And then we can do something like this. Maybe roll that out. Down like that a little bit. And then we can use maybe some of the cladding pieces to kind of flatten that top part out there. I would not be doing anything if I was that close. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, that it sucks because I'm trying to not do anything, or at least trying to turn things over to people who would be doing it for me after I leave. But the problem is there's nobody around. The guy who's supposed to be replacing me just got to base, and because of the security requirements, it takes a while for it to do, or for them to get into the building where I work. So I have to wait until that happens before, in theory, I can stop working, but there's no guarantee that he'll get there before I stop working. So yeah, sorry, plebby. When we retire from the military or separate, we have our, like, April 1st is my date where I'm no longer considered part of the US military. But we earn vacation time, holiday is what you would call it, but leave over the course of our years, and every month we earn 2.5 days. Well, the 2.5 days still adds up, and I have about 45 days of leave that I haven't taken yet. And so I can do two things with it. I can either sell it back and get a lump sum of money for that amount of time, so it's just an extra, I would say, bonus in my final paycheck, or I can use that time at the end of my enlistment to, like, not go to work, but still get paid. And we call that terminal leave. And so that is the option that I'm electing to do, where I don't go to work for the next handful of months, but I still get paid. And then I can use that time to either start a new job hunt, or whatever I need. I can go on vacation, I can do whatever, but I'm still technically in the military. And while I don't have to necessarily do all the standard little rules anymore because they effectively consider me gone, if things were to happen where they did something called stop loss, I would still be required to then come back and do things in the military. So I can't just, like, disappear and never worry about it again until that my actual retirement date. But like Jessica said, I have a day where I stop effectively working, and that's when I hit my terminal leave. And then what's also nice is the military gives us 20 days to search for a job and find maybe a new house or something like that, because oftentimes military isn't going to stay, like, where they're at. So they need to have time to go do those. Yeah, so all the way up until my date of separation, or my retirement date, I'm still locked into being in the military. So there's always that possibility that something could happen. We could go to war with Iran or whatever. Not that I think that that's on the horizon anytime soon. But those kind of things could happen, and that could prevent me from being able to get out when I was planning on it. Well, let's see here. I hate that I always hit, like, the wrong button whenever I'm doing this. Let's see. You're a little wide for what I want. Because what I was trying to do is maybe get something like this and then just sink it into the ground and use this as a way to just create, like, a different kind of texture over here. And that works. I mean, it's not quite what I was looking for, but still scratching the itch. Excellent. All right. And let's get maybe a cladding piece. And that's the thing, like, Jess's fiance, depending on how long he was in, he has something called an inactive reserve time that when we sign up for the military, we're not just signing up for, like, our particular enlistment. We are signing up for a it's almost like a lifetime commitment, because even Cyber, when she retired, they're basically like, we can still pull you back. And so it's really kind of shitty that, you know, we serve the country and then they own our lives seemingly for whatever period of time. And so that's always kind of annoying. That's something that they can do. Now, I think things really have to go like stupid and sideways. It's almost like, drafting people back in, as it were. But it's something that can happen. Okay, let's see. Maybe get another class. No, actually, let's just pull the terrain out here. Maybe just get this a little bit closer to the edge of this. Because I don't mind that little like lip there. I mean, that's kind of a look that I was going for. But then we can come in here and start hitting more of this with some rough rock. And I don't want this to be 100% rough rock, so I'm not going to hold it down too crazy like we did up there. But all right, so now we have this. As far as I'm concerned, that looks much more organic, much more realistic. And we'll do the same thing over here. And obviously you saw that we spent probably the last like 30, 40 minutes working on that. So these aren't fast things to do if you really want to like make the time to do them. So here, let's hit B. And so now, we're getting the red because it's interfering with the track. But as soon as we get it far enough away, then it's not a problem. And here, we'll just go ahead and try to make this where it's its own little wall. Now here, I do want to go underground to make sure that we're not, like, putting a rock over top of, say, like, our treatment facilities that are down here or something like that. Okay, Jess. All right. Maybe we can use something like this up here to just kind of create like a little bit of a slope there. I like that. That works. And now let's see here. Maybe we'll use a rock like this. Get this kind of put in here like that. And then we'll just rotate this around because I think I want that flat surface, and I want to use that flat surface to kind of connect from here to wherever else we're going. So let's rotate it this way. And that actually blends in pretty well here, so that's good. I'm happy with that. Let's maybe rotate just a little bit back like this. And perfect. I like it. It's coming together well. All right. Now, something else that I do like to do sometimes is I'll take like these larger flat rocks and then I can just push them in and get this down in here like this and get kind of like a flat edge maybe along here. Now I want to be careful that I'm not getting this too far down into the rock or into the stone that we have there. And then I can just plop this down. Now the other thing that I have to be careful of, because in a previous video we had it where the dingoes, the baby dingoes anyway, could get down on top of this somehow. I don't know what kind of weird voodoo shit they were pulling to do that, but either way, they could get there, and somehow it had something to do with this edge, and so that's why there's already some rocks here. Now, did I hit escape instead of commit? I did. So that was a fun thing to kind of solve, but we solved it. So, all right. I thought you were only like 4 new plants because that's what you get when you look at the Aquatic DLC, but they actually have a ton of other plants now. Yeah, I think they did that with the Australian DLC too. Like, if you just look at like what came with the Australia pack, it was just kind of like, what? They only gave us like this many? But then when you start looking through, you can tell that there's a lot more that kind of came with it, and it's much nicer to have all of those different options. Let's go ahead and maybe bring this way, and then we'll turn that down. Slide that puppy in there to kind of cover the gap between the 2 rocks there, and that is how we do it. And I think that'll be good. Maybe I'll slide this just a little bit this way. Maybe we'll just leave it like that. Perfect. Now there's a little bit of a lip here. So we can fix that with maybe a cladding piece or something. Or we could just leave it. Or we could just pull the terrain out. We'll go ahead and try to fix it with a cladding piece. We'll use one of these guys. Then we're actually going to flip it around this way so we get a different texture. So always remember, whenever you're dealing with the rocks, you can flip them around any which direction you want. So you're not locked into just using the texture that happens to be on top when you go to place them. You have a lot more flexibility than that. And so it's always good to, like, you know, explore the rocks, rotate them around, see what you can kind of see with them and what you like and don't like and all that. And then it also helps make sure that when you're doing your zoo that you don't get something where it just looks like a giant pattern of different rocks that are set down somewhere. Now, there is a technique that I've seen a lot of streamers do where they'll take like the larger rocks and create like a general frame of what they were trying to do. And then they'll go in and add a bunch of smaller rocks or cladding pieces or whatever to like break it up and then make it look more natural. Let's see. Yeah, but they still like aquatic related. Some of them, like the lotus for Asia. Nice. Well, that's good. I'll be taking a look at that hopefully here soon. Because once we get this finished, then I think we are pretty much done with what we had set out to do. And we're already kind of halfway there. I just need to fix this. And I'm going to fix this with the terrain because that seems like an easier solve. Except for whatever reason, it's not selecting the terrain. Let's try doing that. And then push you down there. Okay, that works. And so now let's get in here, do our terrain bit here. And then we can still add a little bit of like grass and maybe some dirt up here. What do we need to do over here? What do we do with the rocks? Forgot about that. I wanted to see if there was anywhere that we should add foliage, but I think we actually worked around the problem pretty well that we don't need to actually add any more foliage there. Okay, sweet. So we have that looking all right. Let's go ahead and finish this up. Maybe grab you. And these rocks are actually pretty nice, just in that they already kind of have a slope built into them. It just depends on like what you're kind of looking for with trying to get the rock to look like. So here I'm just going to have it flipped around because I'm really more interested in this back portion than I am anything else. So that, and then we'll get it rotated. So it kind of fits this way. Bring that down into here like this. Maybe out just a little. And so you can see that we're still probably going to pull the terrain out to kind of match that. Let's go ahead and get something in the middle here. Maybe we'll use some of the, like these guys here. Maybe we'll use the longer ones. And then we can even just, and so this will be a good way to kind of see, like if we take this and we throw something like this in here to kind of fill in some of that gap. Let's get this tilted up like this. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put a cladding piece on top of there to just kind of finish out that flat thing. Did they come in, Jess? And now here I can control X, which is duplicate in place, and then put the advanced move on. And if I move it down, you can see that the texture is still very similar. But if I take this and start rotating it around, now I can get a completely different texture, and it doesn't look like I just copied and pasted the same rock. Even though that's exactly what I did, because I'm moving it and showing a different component of the rock itself. So go ahead and do that. And then we want to add maybe rock 18 right into here. And even this rock, maybe we'll take it and we'll tilt it just a little like that and maybe bring it down just a touch more There. I like the way that looks better. And then we'll throw rock 18 in here just for good measure to fill that little bit of space in. So let's go ahead and pop that in there. Spin it around like this and get it that way. And that. And I completely agree with T-Slan on this. This really is kind of like your all-rounder kind of rock. We're actually going to flip it 180 like that. Just because for whatever reason, this triangular shape that it has really does a good job of like filling in a lot of gaps that otherwise you would have to use like just the tip or something along those lines to fill in that space. And this makes it a lot easier to do with just like a single kind of triangular shaped rock. Now, it's not the perfect solution all the time, but it definitely is a nice thing. They did, and they look great. Got to address them and send them out like tomorrow and get them everywhere on time. Nice. That sounds awesome. Okay. So this one we should be able to just take here and slide you right there. Yep. And then here we'll go ahead and do some terrain pulling. Get that to kind of come up over like this. And pull this out too. Maybe smooth that down. Now, of course, I'm getting some really wonky looking stuff. But, all right, let's push you in just a little. And so as you're doing this, don't hesitate to change the percentage or the radius. And I'm already on the smallest radius. But as you do that, if you go down to a smaller radius, then it won't be such a drastic change. Unless you're in an area that's just, it's guaranteed to do that, but that's not always the case. But here you can see, like, as I'm doing this, it moves much slower and is a much easier thing to kind of deal with. So let's go ahead and pull this up here, there. Then you can always kind of smooth things out too, just to get it to be a little nicer. It doesn't always like line up perfectly with the edges though, so it's really just based on the look that you're kind of going for. And again, here we'll bring this up to 50, and I tend to only go about as high as 50 unless I know that I'm like, you know, maybe trying to correct something or deal with some other issue. But otherwise, I'm almost always using about 50% because then it makes it easier to like integrate some of the other textures and whatnot without completely covering over it as we go along. Then I'll have to check the dingoes to make sure that I didn't like change the terrain so much that they hate this area now. I'm pretty sure that's not the problem, but it's always good to just double check that, and especially considering all the other little changes that have happened today, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's see here. I want to use you maybe over here, kind of like we did on the other side. Bring you down low enough. Get you like that. And I'm okay with that. Now we just need to fill in this little gap with something. Maybe we can even just kind of stack these on top of each other. Like so. Maybe turn it so we have that edge kind of showing. All right. And then we can use this guy as well. And that has a little bit of a slope to it. So we might be able to use that maybe to our advantage. We'll see. And I found that most often I can, I mean, as long as I, pick kind of the right rock that I'm sort of looking for, I can get the, get things positioned more or less the way that I want to and not be ready to smash my fist through the computer or something like that. But sometimes you just end up picking the wrong rock and you just kind of have to deal with it and know that you messed up there and maybe pick something else. but most of them are pretty flexible in just how you can kind of work with them anyway. All right. And then I think here we're just going to use the terrain trick again. Going to pull this out just a little more. And there we go. Be able to smooth in here just a touch. And now we'll go ahead and get this kind of roughened up. And this is really just to help it kind of blend in a little bit. But now we have this, and I think that that looks a lot better too. It just doesn't look as plain, I guess, as it would have if we had done it differently. Okay, perfect. All right, so now it's time to check out some of the new items that we have. All right, so we have construction is where I imagine all of this stuff would be. And then, nope, not property, theme, and aquatic. All right. So we have a lot of different items. Hello, potato. All right, so we'll go just kind of step by step. So we have these stained kind of things here. Actually, let's go to the terrain real quick. And we'll do this. And then I just want to get rid of the long grass there. Just so it's a little bit easier to see without the grass like poking through everything. Okay, so we go to construction. Well, first off, we have another kind of like corrugated roof type thing. This one's actually kind of nice though, because it looks like it actually has like a three-dimensional thing. It's not just using a texture to kind of create that. So that's nice. And then again, it's super nice that we now have the corners or the curves that make it that we can do stuff like this. I'm really shocked that they didn't put stuff like that in the game to begin with. And I am pretty confident that all this purple. Yep, we can change the purple. We can change that, so that's great. Let's go to windows. Okay, so there's not any aquatic windows. That's a little weird. Very similar with like just the other set pieces. Archways, so not anything specifically there. We have like these. Oh, that's super cool. And I bet we can change the color. Yep, we sure can. And then here's another one. That one's just flat. So very decorative, kind of nice looking. And then we can use this. Like this is really cool look at stuff that we can use to make almost like a little like park, or even like if we take a piece like this, because it looks probably better if you have it turned 90 degrees this way, and then we slide this up to be kind of even with the surface, and then you have an item that is like looking like that, and then you can probably even nope, doesn't look like there's snap points along there, but you can probably still get this to like line up, because I mean, even if we just duplicated it, we can slide that out, and then I think we just need to turn it 90 degrees like that. And now the pieces don't lie, like the way that it's a little surprising just how this doesn't line up quite as well as I would think. And it might be that because it's not a fully 90 degree curve, but still, you can still create like little things like this, which would be kind of nice. You can create almost like that, and then you can put a talking point inside here. Would be something you could do. That would be pretty cool. Now, obviously, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that per se, because then you can't see the animal. So it's actually kind of interesting. Like, oh, so these are actually like murals. Oh, that's so cool. That's a new thing. So I guess the idea behind these is if we take, say, like this piece here, and now I go to wherever the murals were, this. Now it doesn't, I mean, obviously you can see there that it's not like quite lining up the right way, but we can still do it, and we can get this, and we just turn this like this, and you can see how it fits that interior corner like perfectly. And then we just slide it around just a little. Like this is part that's probably the more frustrating piece of this whole endeavor, is trying to get this like kind of lined up. But yeah, I mean, that's actually really kind of cool. So here we can use this as a way to kind of see, like, maybe if we can get this to be a little bit more balanced on the sides there like that. So I wish that those snapped better into those corners. And it's probably something they'll fix because I'm sure a lot of people get pretty frustrated. But that's really kind of cool. And so this is something that you can use to decorate like the interiors of the buildings for like aquatic kind of stuff. So that's really neat. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Obviously lots of decorations, different animals. We have, I assume that's an otter. Yep. That looks a little insane. But murals, oh. They have a roof piece that they didn't have set as like a roof piece. Yeah, that's also another thing. So that's really interesting that this isn't there. That's really cool. I like that roof. That's pretty wicked. That surprises me that it's not. Oh, we did flat roofs. We didn't do all the roof pieces. And then there's this thing. Okay. And then we can take something like this and put it like right there. And maybe we can get the little birdie to kind of sit on top of that like that. And that's not perfect. He's not like, his feet aren't on it, but like so. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, we have like little trim pieces, all this kind of stuff. The edge. It's funny that that edge looks like white in the picture, but then it's actually like a darker color. And a lot of this stuff you can change the colors too. Yep, we have all those things. Nothing real cosmic here. There's no real like pillars or anything. Decorations, and then we were looking at the awnings and everything else. So let's go ahead and take a look at the signs. So we have the different signs. I like that we get well, actually, I don't know. Is this an animal that we got? What is that? Dwarf something. Yeah, the dwarfs definitely have a mermaid kind of vibe. DW. Oh, yeah. Sweet. That's another critter. Okay, awesome. Oh, that gives off a mermaid vibe. All right, construction. Let's go back in here. Diamondback Terrapin. That's funny because of I think a local baseball team here is called the Terrapins. I didn't even know what a terrapin was when they started calling it that, but so I think these are signs for the different animals that they added, so that's cool. Ooh. That feels very like aquatic. I mean, obviously that's the set, but oh, and it's nice that you can change the color of the rock. Oh, that's cool. I like. What if we change that to like a purple? Light color, faux rock color, maybe. So that'll be nice. Oh, that's a pretty cool little light too. That, obviously these look like they're more for putting on a wall or something like that. But obviously, like whatever you're trying to do, you have a whole bunch of different things. So these are props. So these are just different little sculptures and stuff like that that you can use. Oh, that's neat. Planted wood panel. So you can just like put that down and poof, you've got terrain. I'm sure this is really good for like using at the bottom of a like a water habitat or something like that. You can put this down and then have stuff around the edges and all that. And then so we have a fence, curved fence. Oh, that's nice. And then that's interesting. So do they have a Oh, what the hell? Oh, wait. Oh, I see what they did. Okay. Took me a minute to get that figured out. So what they've done, because this curve can be either inside or outside. So like this one here, because of the way that I have this, I have the wrong piece here. And so I would need, not that one, but I would need this piece because the, like that little edge is on the inside, but now over here it's on the outside. So I'd want this one to kind of go along with that if that's how it's going to work. And so it's actually pretty nice. That's actually pretty cool that they like thought of all that. And what is this? Fence end. Oh, I see. That feels very like Jurassic Park kind of thing. Like that I would be attaching an electric fence to that. But I still like that that's there. I don't like that like the snap points are squirrely. Let's see. If I move this, there we go. That worked better. That's actually really nice. I'm really glad that they have stuff like this. Because it's nice to be able to have like things that sometimes like just link up real well. All right, so we checked out the fences. Let's check the decorative stuff. So we got a bunch of statues. What is that called? Waterfall cliff. Does that actually like work? Oh, yes. Now, obviously, you're locked into like a certain height or whatever with these, so you don't have quite the flexibility you do if you create like a custom one. And then, of course, you have this giant block that you might have to deal with. But if you build your terrain around it, you could make, now, of course, I'm like on aligned to terrain or aligned to objects. But so like we could take this and we could go over here and maybe just increase it just a little bit. And then if I got the terrain wrapped around that properly, I could make a nice little waterfall. Let's go ahead and do it somewhere over here. Like a nice little waterfall, and then I could have water up underneath there and everything else. And that's super cool. Like it's almost like an all-in-one little package there. I like that. I can't say that I'm going to use them a whole bunch, but I still like it. That's neat. Special effects. Okay, there's no super secret special effects there. Although I thought we did something. What did we do? We went to Contact Pack and Aquatic. And then we have... Oh, underwater bubbles. I wonder what those do. Oh, I know what they do. Yep, that's exactly what it would do. It would just put like the little bubbles up like it's like there's air coming out from between like the rocks and stuff like that. That's still pretty slick. That's nice. Let's go ahead and pause it since we're going to have critters mature here soon. And that's pretty much it. So, and then the foliage, like Plebby was talking about, we might not have a whole lot of foliage. Well, so they've got subaquatic, oh, yeah, rocks. So they have these, which, you know, are only like a handful of different things. But there's other items that already exist that probably got more tags that belong to like the aquatic kind of stuff. But this is still like super neat. And in all honesty, you could probably use some of this stuff above the water, just depending on how you want to use it. And it would also be really cool to use this stuff, say, in like something like this, where you want to kind of decorate down here. And these things make maybe a little bit more sense from a decorative standpoint down underneath like the terrain here. So we could do that. Now, the only thing is this, you know, it's still just like a regular plant. So it would still have an impact on whether or not our animals are happy with that environment and that change. All right. So nothing else really to check out there. Let's go. So we were like making a ton of money. I just don't know, like maybe because we've just been messing around with stuff, or It's just this, maybe we fed something expensive or whatever, but all right. So let's go ahead and hit I, and then we'll select all of this stuff here. Definitely not anything over here, because I'd be really mad if we screwed that up. But that's cool. And so I think what we will probably do next time that we do anything is we will take this track and we're going to swing it around this way and kind of bring it out so we can put in a habitat up here that has kind of that deep water component to it. And then maybe we'll even make it that the track ride kind of comes along where that deep water would be. So we'll have to be a little bit kind of creative with that. But I think that would be really slick to have like the deep water and the track ride be where guests can see that. And then the guests can probably still stand like here and look at it. And then up top would be where the animal would be like above water or something like that. Maybe. I mean, we can always... Oh, goodness. We can always make the terrain something different or whatever, but I really do think that having a habitat like that, just before we get into like our castle proper, would actually be pretty cool. But yeah, because this track ride, I mean, we have the station that is here. We have a station that's under here. We might even put a station here first, and then from there we'll go and do something else. And then maybe we'll get like one more station in here to really just kind of get a solid amount of like stations kind of going on for this particular ride. And then we should be good to go with that particular thing. So I think that's going to be it for this evening. We've definitely gotten a lot of new things to look at, a lot of new things to kind of explore and do. We haven't really expanded on this zoo a whole lot, but we will. It's always just something that takes some time to do properly and do the way that we're doing. And so, I mean, we spent a lot of time just looking at the new things and doing a lot of rock work. And speaking of rock work, let's go ahead and hit play and make sure that we didn't somehow create an escape point here. And the reason I'm zooming all the way out is last time, the only way that we were able to find that was to zoom all the way out. Now let's see if we can find a youngin'. Let's pause just because, again, we're dealing with the time constraint here. And then let's find you. Where are you? There you are. Microsoft is being dumb. And then you also have no escape points, so that's perfect. And that's exactly what we want. And then, so this point is obviously now they can reach it. So that's good. And we should be all set. All right. Excellent. So that is going to be it for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said before, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because YouTube likes to make it hard to find things, or at least notify you that things are going on. So by all means, do that. And then also, please, like, dislike, whichever, give us that interaction. Let me know kind of how things are going. And then, if you have the time, definitely leave a comment down in the bottom and let me know what else you'd like to see. Let me know if you're interested in seeing Cyberpunk or something like that on a different day. And we'll go from there. But you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.